Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, April the 4th, 2007. It's 5:30. Vicki, would you lead us in prayer, please?
Our Heavenly Father, we come here today to conduct business that not only benefits us as an organization, but our community as well. May the decisions we make benefit all those involved, and may we always remember that God always gives us enough strength and enough sense for everything that He wants us to do. We pray this in your holy name.
Amen. We have a member from the community, Ms. Ana Ariola, and her daughter, Allie. I'd like to see if she could lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. She could step over here, please. Hey, Allie.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Allie. Thank you. Go, fine.
Item number 3 is receive interim Gregors Report. Kind of brief, because the last couple of weeks we've been kind of slow in our traffic, but we've attended several meetings. One, we had a meeting with Cameron County in regard to the bridge. Commissioner Cristiano and Chairman Brownsville and I met with David Garcia and with Pete Sepulveda. They had a very good meeting. We went over some issues. We're going to get back together in a couple of weeks with Norma Torres from BRG to go over, put together a list of all the issues that we have with Union Pacific, the same issues that we would have with the West Rail project, and go over it with them, and they're going to try to set up a meeting with Union Pacific to see if we can get some of those issues addressed. So it was a very, very good meeting. Also, this week we had the kickoff meeting for our feasibility study. We met with Ernest Silva, our bridge consultant, or coordinator, and Juan Carlos Espinosa from the company who's doing the feasibility study. I also spoke with Mr. Dannenbaum earlier in the week, and we got some things discussed about who the contact person would be. He would like to get together with us after the holiday, and actually sit down and see what direction the feasibility study is going in, as how it related to the plans that he will have to draw. So it was a very good conversation that we had, and he was very glad to hear that we were wanting to go forward with the project, and he was very excited about the feasibility study. And he said that he thought that it was going to come back very positive, and he was looking forward to the project. I don't know if anybody would like to comment.
Well, just on our meeting that we had with the people doing the feasibility study, I think it was a very positive meeting. We actually we met for 2 hours, 3 hours, and they were just going over all the details of what they're going to be doing, the scope of their work. I have, if their work product is as good as that meeting was, I think it's going to be a fantastic product. Matter of fact, as in disguise, it was a blessing. Black & Veatch was also attending the meeting, and Black & Veatch said that this feasibility study is incredibly important for them, or for us, but for them to be able to get information that they could never get before, because it's on the Mexican side of the cost of. Usually they can determine how much money our economy makes on this side, but they can't figure out how much it makes on the Mexican side, and the feasibility study is going to give us that number. So it's a very positive thing, he said. You know, just for people that don't know what's going on, we're doing the feasibility study as far as the government of the state of Tamaulipas is supporting the BND in the initiative to develop a feasibility study for a new border crossing. And once the feasibility study comes out and it shows that it is positive, both in the feasibility study is technically and financially feasible, then that's when the state of Tamaulipas will actually go out and start promoting our bridge with the federal government in Mexico agencies. That means including SEC, SRE, and any other entities that they may, and they would be our promoters, the state of Tamaulipas would. And having said that, I mean, let's be in a realistic tone is, the feasibility study comes out negative. Well, we all know that there's going to be no more futuristic pursuing of a bridge, not in my eyes anyways. But it was a very positive thing. I think it was if Black and Leach would have come back and told us we needed this feasibility study, we probably would have done it, even if it wasn't for the bridge, so it's a good thing.
I think the good thing about it is the state of Tamaulipas wanting to be involved in doing it. I think that makes a big difference in the very beginning.
That's exactly right. It's the biggest difference is that the state has embraced that.
And we're working in a coordination effort together to go pursue this, and it's not just one entity on one side of the border trying to get something from the other side.
Okay, also we met today, as a matter of fact, with a container on barge company from Houston. As you know, we've been trying to get this service started for several years now. And this company is a new company in the container on barge business, but it's a very established company. It's been in the Port of Houston since, I think they said 1969.
Yes.
The gentleman he has a stevedore service there. He has a trucking company. He's buying the vessels for this operation. So it was a very good meeting. He moves a lot of steel in the Port of Houston, so he knows the business. They have offices in Alabama, in Houston, in Laredo. So he's saying that, some of that traffic from Laredo could be diverted down here, and instead of going by truck, it'll go by barge. And so Herman and Tony and myself met with him, and that's a very exciting step. We've got a lot of information that we're going to share with them. Herman's going to Houston next week to meet with some of the shipping lines, and he's going to get with them again and sit down and just go over, all the information that we've compiled over the years to help them get a jump start and get started on this. So hopefully, pretty soon we'll have that up and going. Norma and I had dinner the other night with some representatives from KCSM and from Union Pacific. They were here working. They had an operational meeting for a couple of days. And so we met with them, went over some issues that we're having with KCSM about not getting enough cars and not being able to move the traffic efficiently. And then Tony went to the meeting the whole next day, the operation meeting. So we got a lot of things covered, and hopefully we'll get some resolution to those problems that we're having here pretty quick. As everybody know, we implemented our truck permitting fee on Monday, and it went relatively well. George was out there in the middle of the road all day long, diverting the traffic over, and we set up with Joe Saban and all our permitting guys, Leslie Gonzalez. They went outside and sold the permits outside so that the traffic wouldn't get so backed up. And we've been doing that pretty much all week long. We've sold today 555 annual permits. That's either at $100 or $75. We've collected about $47,000 in revenue on that, and we sold 547 daily permits. So it's going good. We might have to come back to the board this next meeting and do a little clarification on our tariff item because there's a little confusion, and we're still working on that right now. But all in all, it went very smoothly. Just a few bugs, and so I want to thank everybody for stepping in and really getting out there and taking the bull by the horns and making it work.
If I may add a point to that, I just want to congratulate all the trucking companies that actually got together and helped us pursue this initiative and create this. Basically, they created their own tariff of using our port, and not only was that a great thing, but nobody can ever pay for all the maintenance that we're going to have to do on our roads, but this is really going to help us to maintain and fix the roads so that the wear and tear on our trucks isn't going to be as much as it is, and hopefully they'll see the benefit. And it's only just a clarification, these permits are going, all the money that we get from this is going directly to the roads.
Yes.
There's no other purpose.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What is the status on the Sunshine Cement company?
As a matter of fact, they were here today. Their lease was that they would be inside the port on April the 1st, or they would start paying their rent, and we've already received their first rent check. They've got the vessel, they purchased it. but it still has a charter, and it's working in the trade right now, and so until that charter runs out, they're not going to be here, and then they still have to go in and do some modifications to the vessel, but they already, as of the first, sent us their first rent check.
Okay, so it's just a matter of time before they're...
And in fact, on the next agenda, they wanted to make one slight modification, and it's very minor. Daniel just got it today, so, I mean, not about the rent or anything else. It was just, if they're not at the dock, and this was in the original agreement, if they're not at the dock, then it was negotiated that they would pay the dockage rent that they were supposed to be paying. But in the meantime, if we use the dock for port purposes, that we would credit them back any fee that we collected, but never to exceed their monthly payments what they were supposed to be paying. And so that was in the original agreement. And what they would just like to clarify is that just some liability issues, if somebody came in and damaged the dock, because they're paying monthly rental on it, they don't want to be responsible for that. And it's just minor changes, and Daniel's reviewing that, but we did receive our first check.
That'll be presented at the next meeting?
Yeah.
Very good.
Next item?
The consent agenda items. Item number 4, consider an action on the following consent agenda items. A, approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting of March 22nd, 2007. B, approval of the following leases. 1, Linwood Trawlers, Inc., new lease. 2, Belleville, Inc., new lease. 3, Felipe Mendez, doing business as International Machine Shop, or lease. 4, Jesus Mahad, doing business as Eagle Ready Mix Concrete, amendment. 5, Captain Memo Corporation, new lease. 6, Cumberworth Investments, Inc., new lease.
So moved. Second. We have a motion on the table for item number 4. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item number 5, consider an action to appoint a member to the Cameron County Bahia Grande Restoration Committee.
Chairman, members of the board, good afternoon.
Yeah.
Back in February of 2003, Commissioners Court of Cameron County created a Bahia Grande Committee, which was basically to address, at that time, the dust control issues. As you all know, this project has progressed well beyond the dust control issues into a major aquatic environmental restoration. There's a little attachment to the agenda. This was presented last night to the Commissioners Court, and it was approved. And basically, many other entities have joined into the efforts of the restoration project, as well as some other previous members are not involved anymore. It is sort of an unofficial committee. I understand there's no real bylaws. It's just more of a committee to ensure that everybody is aware of the project and the different participations. They have asked, of course, that we are one of the main partners on this project. And one of our either staff or a board member to represent an entity district. I'm basically recommending either that a board member or a staff member represent on this committee. I know that I most likely will be involved in the project if it pertains directly to our poor detail feasibility study. So, however, at your discretion, we should select that.
I think you're nominated.
Hector, you just...
Would be a bad idea.
I don't know.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Watch it on the report.
Item number 6, consider an action on assignments, negotiations, easements, subleases, and contracts in general. Item number 1, Transmontane Operating Company, LP, authority to negotiate.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Linwood Trawlers, this is the, Transmontane. Sorry about that. Transmontane, who's the present lessee at the port, is requesting additional land. They would like to leave this area right in here, this area right in here, and they'd like a first refusal on this land and this land. Therefore, I'm asking the Board of Union Authority to negotiate an amendment to their lease for the additional tracks, to add them to this lease, and make a right of first refusal, two first refusals for this track and this track.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 2, CDC Construction Inc. doing business as Welding Works International Authority to negotiate.
This company is asking to lease the ex-Buster Harris site at the fishing harbor, this corner right in here, for the purpose of welding fabrication. This company provides, it's subcontract for Capital Land Services, and I'm asking the Board of Union Authority to negotiate with this company. So
How much area does the Buster Harris have there?
It's 4.75 acres and approximately 451 linear feet of dock.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Item number 3, Motor Vessel Challenger 42 Inc. Authority to negotiate.
This company, and again, to go back, I had a waiting list of fishing harbor people, and I went through my list, and the only one that wanted the big site again was the CD, and the next one was this company, Motor Vessels Challenger. This would be the ex-Gonzalez and Son site, which it has 20 feet of street frontage right in here, and 134 linear feet of dock. And I'm asking the Board of Union Authority to negotiate with this company for this site.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4, R.M. Wallsdorf Company Authority to negotiate.
Mr. Wallstar leases right in this area, and he's using a little area here for a parking lot, put some limestone, and I notified him that he was encroaching, so he's asking to leave.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 5, Gulmar Inc., Esco Marine Inc., assignment of lease.
Gulmar, which is situated right in this area, is selling their improvements to ESCO, and is asking to assign their lease to ESCO. And both parties have signed.
Second. Can we hear from the parties that are here? Do y'all want to say something?
We're ready for a vote.
Okay.
We're done. Thank you anyway for asking, appreciate it, yeah.
Then
we talked about it.
We're good to go. You were gonna look at some language in the assignment, or?
The environmental provisions have been heavily negotiated,
Okay.
and we've arrived at a point where I'm comfortable with it as far as the parties.
And you're recommending the passage of the agreements as they're currently worded,
As they're currently
and as the parties have agreed.
And I would note that the parties have not actually closed their sale, and so what they requested us to do is to hold the assignment against the unlikely event that their sale didn't go through. We didn't tear the assignment up. So I think you're closing tomorrow?
Next week.
Next week.
But at this point, all we're asking is for approval
Right.
of it, and then they can actually be signed by the board.
Okay, we have a motion on the table to approve item number 6.5. Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 7, adjourning to executive session.
Okay. Now, we have a motion?
Motion.
Second. All those in favor? Now it's 5:55. We adjourn into executive session.